Pellatt began building Casa Loma in 1910.
Although we call this beautiful room the library today, it really was what we might call a family room.
Of course, the room got its name from the glass-fronted bookcases lining the walls. The beautiful plasterwork ceiling was inspired by Elizabethan-era palaces. Along with Tudor-style portrait busts, there are plaster panels with the coats of arms of Henry Pellatt and his wife Mary.
The serving room is inspired by Robert Adam, the great Scottish architect. When you look into an Adam room, what should strike the eye are the soft colors. Pale blues, pale pinks, pale coffee colors, pale yellows, all picked out by white raised plaster detailing on the walls and in this case on the ceiling.
The Pellatts used this room for breakfast and for quiet dinners together. Henry's study is an intimate Edwardian businessman's office and displays elements of neoclassical design. The walls, for example, are clad in walnut with neoclassical detailing. And the marble fireplace boasts a carving of the Greco-Roman hero Hercules on the mantel. The conservatory, one of the Pellatts' favorite rooms at Casa Loma. The bronze doors are copies of a set made for an Italian villa.
The floors are clad in Italian marble, and if you look up, you'll see the most spectacular stained glass dome. And hanging down from the dome itself are, well, to me they look like little wasps' nests, but actually they're meant to be clusters of grapes. Flowers were brought in through the tunnel from the greenhouses and put in what we call ferneries, which flank either side of the room. Imagine, if you will, in the middle of a Canadian winter, being able to come into this room surrounded by tropical flowers. Lady Pellatt had a much larger suite than her husband did. A bedroom, a very large sitting room and solarium, a modern bathroom and wardrobe area.
Reflecting this interest, her bedroom is painted a pale blue with white highlights, a color scheme inspired by classic Wedgwood ware.
This room is a spectacular room. It is perfectly round because it fits into the base of the open tower. So if you look at the walls, you look at the window casements, and you look at the doors in the room, they're all curved to fit the shape of the room.
Like the serving room downstairs, the round room is decorated in the neoclassical style of Robert Adam, the great Scottish architect of the 18th century. Adam favored delicate white plasterwork and soft colors, like the pale yellow you see here.
The 4 chairs and the threefold screen in this room are Louis XV style. They were showpieces for Pellatt and originally would have been put in the oak room downstairs. We know that Pellatt had a room dedicated to chinoiserie and Chinese things. So this room has been redecorated in the chinoiserie style.
The large red lacquered dresser actually comes from China, but the walls are covered with a Chinese-inspired pattern. Images of phoenixes and foo dogs are stenciled on the painted surface.
The Windsor room is one of the Pellatts' many guest suites. This bedroom was so named after the royal family in England, the Windsors.
Dominating this room is an intricately carved bed that originally stood in another one of the guest suites.
This bed is highly unusual in that it's a walnut bed, dating probably to the early part of the 19th century, and it was decorated in what we call the Venetian manner. So when one looks at it, you see all sorts of kind of classical ideas. For example, on each of the four posts of the bed are four cherubs, and they're standing over something that looks like a serpent, but it's not actually, they're dolphins. The billiard room and smoking room were a gentleman's space. They were Pellatt's space, where Lady Pellatt would not follow him and wander in. This is where he was comfortable to sit with his friends, and very often Lennox, his architect, came over to play billiards.